New information in the Shanquella Robinson case, and this time it is straight from Shanquella's mother's mouth. Y'all, she dropped some bombs on Dateline. One, the Cabo6 did not return immediately after Mexico like it was first thought. This literally confirms what came out of the local papers. They actually stayed in Mexico and returned days later. Did they stay to celebrate the birthdays that they were down there to celebrate in the first place? Also, the fact that she exposes that whoever told her about the video, it was an anonymous call. More importantly, she confronted Khalil to his face. First, she confronted Dejanay, Winter, and Khalil. And then, when she got even more evidence, she confronted Khalil to his face. And his reaction was the most pathetic reaction you can think of. You know, if you think about in a perfect world, maybe, just maybe, it was some sick, twisted accident. But when you look at the level of psychopathic vibes they give off, the fact that they came back, the fact that they sat around the mother, the fact that the mother, literally, when she got the autopsy report, confronted Khalil by himself. When she got that mysterious phone call, she confronted the actual murderers, and they all sat there and not only lied, but started crying. You guys, this is criminal conspiracy. This is lying with intent to obstruct an official investigation. This is a planned, orchestrated, cold-blooded attack to cover up the murder. And the only reason I can think of to do that, it's not because they love Dejanay so much. Those type of heartless beasts, they can't love anybody. Look what you did to an innocent. It's because they all have blood on their hands. You guys, we're going to get into that a little later, but let's listen to her explosive interview. And again, she gave an interview to Nancy Grace, but Dateline does even more getting to the truth. And the mom, when she actually says the definitive timeline, listen, there is no hell hot enough for what these people's souls are going to experience. Again, let's get into this. I'm going to actually pull up what's going on, and I want you guys to listen. And of course, I'll be popping in. Shanquella's mom first received the call, but you guys have to listen to this because it is going to blow your mind. Let's go.
What's wrong with it? And he said alcohol poisoning. I didn't know what alcohol poisoning was, you know. But he said the doctor is on the way. And I said, well, how you know alcohol poisoning if the doctor haven't arrived yet?
Already, questions are being raised in her. She is a mama bear. How do you, I don't even know what alcohol poisoning is. How do you know what alcohol poisoning is? And the doctor hasn't even arrived. Great questions to ask. Let's also keep in mind, if we literally bring in what she said in other interviews in Nancy Grace, and of course with the North Carolina beat, let's put this into context. She received a call sometime around 4 p.m. Mexico time, because she said she was out to dinner. I believe in the Nancy Grace interview, she was out to dinner. So the call came 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. By 4 p.m., let's also not forget what everybody's alibi says. The police report says the doctor was there at 3:26, right? Nasir said that he arrived at 3 p.m. Just keep that in mind. However, this first call she received from Khalil said, one, the doctor, we think she has alcohol poisoning, and we haven't even called the doctor, let alone any type of medical aid. But let's keep going.
I said, well, why you can't take her to the hospital? You know, take her to the hospital. And he said, well, they say you have to have cash money. I said, well, she has insurance. And he said, well, she need about $5,000 to be seen in the emergency room.
Now, this $5,000 amount, they've said this a billion times, but that tracks with what we know. We're going to get into the more explosive in a second, but we have to lay the groundwork. I just want y'all to be there with me, right? This $5,000, a lot of people have said that they believe that $5,000 price was maybe them trying to get money to pay off the authorities. Maybe, right? Because these cold psychos, they were into anything. But you guys, I have a different theory. I believe that they asked for that $5,000 because here's the thing. Khalil's been on vacation with that family. He's been around that family. He asked for an amount that was big enough that he hoped, right? Big enough that he hoped that would say, oh my God, 5,000. I don't have that right now. Or what's more, the banks are closed. It's 6 or 7 p.m. Even if I do have the money, I can't get to the bank to do a Western Union. Do you see what I'm saying? He was hoping that it would be something that the mom would be like, oh, well, we don't have that much money. So you know what? Just keep us posted. That's what he was hoping. He didn't expect for the mom to say, well, we have insurance. But again, this is why I think the doctor and Khalil and them were working together, because they did a little research. And it is true. In Mexico, you need money up front for medical treatment, or at least you have to pay to even see a doctor in the emergency room. However, the one thing that everybody's missing is medical expenses in Mexico are 1/10 what they want in America. Don't believe me? Ask everybody that crosses the border to San Diego to pick from San Diego to Tijuana to pick up the prescriptions, to get their teeth done, to do everything. It is only a fraction. Even in America, just to see a doctor in an emergency room is not 5,000. Now, I'm not going to lie. It might be 1,600 or 2,000 if they wanted the money up front in America. We know we don't have to pay up front. But in Mexico, to pay the money up front to see a doctor is pennies on the dollar. Again, that $5,000 amount, they were either trying to extort her or they were hoping the mother would be like, I don't have it. What do you do? Anyway, let's keep on going.
Said that she was responsible and the ambulance was trying to resuscitate her.
Okay, so I jumped ahead a little bit, but basically what's going on here is the ambulance came, okay? And there were repeated calls. The second call she got was saying that the ambulance was there, and then she was unresponsive, and then
he said he was sorry that Shanquella had passed.
He said it just like that.
Just like that. He wasn't even emotion upset or nothing about it. And I say, well, you know, it was nothing I could do. It's just my heart just crumbled, you know, because I couldn't even get to my child. She 2,000 miles away.
Okay, pause there. Again, this brings me back to how this was orchestrated and calculated, and why haven't the FBI and the Mexico authorities issued warrants for the rest of them? Let's just play devil's advocate, and we got to play devil's advocate because, baby, they are the devil. Let's just play devil's advocate. Let's just say it was some sick world star fighting video that they decided to literally bully and beat to death this poor angel. Let's just say that's what happened. And they meant to hurt her, but they didn't mean to actually kill her. Let's just say that's what happens. Who, after you see a body on the ground of someone you broke bread with their family, come around, did all that stuff, who could call so calm with no emotion? Hey, yeah, so the alcohol poisoning, yeah, she didn't make it. I'm sorry. And then that's just it. And she didn't make it. No emotion, not anything. Tell me this isn't cold-blooded. This was done in cold blood. But let's keep on going because the most explosive is coming right now.
Salamandra says days later, the friends returned to the States after their vacation.
Days later. This is what, and again, this is why it's good to keep talking. This is why it's good to keep things. They got that beautiful nugget out of her that the friends returned days later. Why is that important? We all know from the check-in log on the hotel, they checked in on 28th. They planned to leave that Monday, the 31st, which was Halloween. Why? Because Dejane's birthday was on the 30th, that Sunday. Is it starting to come together? All right, let me just beat a dead horse. So think about it. The leaks from the Metropolis MX are saying that the police, the reason why they weren't arrested immediately is they said, okay, we have the doctor saying it's alcohol poisoning. We have a body. They went to the morgue. The coroner noticed bruising on her. And said, They did test to see what exactly she died from. Now, again, the bruising must have been extensive because if you don't know, the only way to test for a spinal cord injury is either through a blood test or some type of magnetic imagery, a a CAT scan, an MRI, some sort of magnetic energy. Those are the only ways you can find out if somebody has a spinal cord injury. They clearly did one of those tests, either magnetic imaging or the blood test. And that's when they found out it was luxation, which is an internal decapitation. And because of the other tests in the autopsy, once they said, hold on, the police report isn't matching, that's when they put everything together and they said, yeah, she died at 3 p.m., 15 minutes, luxation, internal decapitation. Now, they said the leaks that are coming out of the metropolis said that they were led to believe by the Cabo6 that they would be there the next day. But instead, the Cabo6 had fled to the hotel. We've been led to believe through things on the internet, and that's why I'm glad they got this nugget from the mom, that they left the same day they found out Shanquella died. But that's not true. According to the mom, they returned days later after she got that call. Days is at least 2, right? At least 2. It might even be 3. They returned days later. She got that call on the 29th. They returned at least 2 days later after that. What does that tell you? It tells you that this kind of syncs up. It appears that they did flee to hotels, right? The police say they have the hotel records, so they fled to hotels and they stayed there until their original tickets to return were there. They didn't buy new, if what the mom is saying can be believed, and I 100% believe her as credible. They didn't buy new tickets. They just fled the scene of the crime and stayed there until the 31st when they were scheduled to go back. Y'all, does this mean that those sickos stayed in Mexico and actually celebrated Dejanay's birthday? I can't wait until the case happens. I can't wait until the FBI, if they need to, presses charges against the Cabo6 that are left on America. And we actually see credit card receipts, right? We see hotel receipts. We have them turning on each other like prey because, y'all, it's getting sicker and sicker by the moment. But listen, the real thing is just coming. There was a mystery phone call. Listen to this.
Call from somebody, I didn't even know who it was. And they said that they was over there fighting that girl. And that's the way they left it, just like that. So
she received a mystery call from someone. Now, here's the thing. She's saying that she didn't know who it was. She received a mystery call saying, this is after they had returned. After they returned and they were making preparations for the funeral, saying that they had been fighting her. But listen to this.
And hung up. Say they was over there fighting her. I don't know why they keep talking about alcohol poison.
She got a mystery call from someone that had inside knowledge. It could have been one of the Cabo6, and what little left of their consciousness they had was sitting there feeling something. What little bit of consciousness they had, they called, okay? But it also could have been somebody they blabbed to, or somebody that saw it on the Facebook pages that it had been uploaded to. But whoever it was literally called. This is Shanquella Robinson's family needs to get the rights to this story so that it can be told. Because you guys, when the truth comes out, the whole truth. Oh, but let me get back to this, right? She got a mystery call. She didn't know who it was. Somebody was like, I don't know why. They was fighting that girl. And she was like, huh? Still didn't say who it was. They were fighting that girl. So I don't know why they're saying it's alcohol poisoning, because they fought that girl and then they hung up. But get this. Those 3 demons, Winter, Dejanay, and Khalil, those 3 demons were in the mother's face. Listen to this when she confronted all 3 of them. Listen to this evil.
They was crying and say they never had a fight. They even sit here and say they was picking out what they was wearing to the funeral. They sit down here and we was talking about what colors we was going to wear and what we was going to do. And they sit here and say, pick out what they was wearing to the funeral.
You guys, this is the most ugliest, disgusting thing that I've ever heard. But you know what? I did a little research into a crime, the things detectives and investigators go through. It's the most disgusting thing. but it's not unusual. You ever hear that old adage, the murderer always returns to the scene of the crime? That's not just something they say in Sherlock Holmes movies. It is actually true. There's something about the guilt. Sometimes the killers feel pride. They like to see everybody scrambling around because they have like narcissistic egos and like to see everybody, oh, don't know it's me. Sometimes it's out of guilt. Again, maybe if it's an accident, but a lot of times it's out of fear. Fear they'll be caught. Fear sitting there in their bed and their conscience isn't eating them up. They don't care about that. If they knew that they could get away with it, they would be skipping and jumping along, but they're laying in bed and their minds are driving them crazy because they know when they're sloppy. They know what clues they left. They know how everybody is right there, right at the truth, and they only need one little string to connect everything, and boom, they'll have to answer to their crimes. So what do the murderers do? They go close to the scene. They want to see what the detective knows. But also, this is why it's common not to share information with the family and friends of victims while they're going on through an investigation. Just for this. Because they don't just return to the scene of the crime. After that, they try to befriend the people investigating it. That's why the FBI, police, and whatever are like, we're fine. And they keep people at arm's length. That's why they try to go around the family, bring food for the memorial. Is everything all right? You know I'm always here if you want to talk, even in the middle of the night. If you have any questions, call me first. I'll walk you through it, because they're staying close to them like psychopathic, blood-sucking vampires, truly demons. They're staying close because they're trying to save their own skin. That's why Khalil was there. That's why Dejanira was there. That's why Winter were there. They thought they got away with it, and they just wanted to stay by the mom to make sure that they could push out anything of hope or anything that is bothering them that might turn into them being investigated. Truly evil. She confronted all three of them. They cried. They even said they picked out clothes. I mean, now looking back, because Shanquella's mother was grieving, how odd is it that I say, yo, they said y'all was fighting down there, and your defense is, how could we be fighting? We were picking out clothes, don't you know? But now hindsight is 2020, but it gets deeper. Listen to this.
When they called me and the autopsy came back, it all made sense.
Now, keep in mind, she said when the autopsy came back, it all made sense. Now, where are we? This is her own timeline, which blows away the timelines that we previously established, but it's a beautiful timeline, right? She gets the call. Shanquella's dead. The friends return days later. She gets another anonymous call. It wasn't alcohol poisoning. They were fighting. Shanquella's Dejanay, Winter, and Khalil, those demons, are coming to the mom's house, sitting in the mom's house. The mom confronted them. Yo, I thought you said y'all was fighting. No, we never, boo-hoo-hoo. Demons, right? At this point, she had not seen the video. She had not seen the video at this point. Okay? At this point. However, she did get a call from Mexico authorities with autopsy results saying that, listen, it's a spinal luxation, it's internal decapitation, and that's when things click for the mom. Aha. Now, you might ask, wait a second. If they knew this the day after Shanquella passed away, then why did it take them so long to contact the mom? Why did it take them so long to contact the mom? I'll tell you why. The friends that were the link to Shanquella's mom, poof, disappeared like smoke. They were in a hotel. It looks like they continued their Mexico festivities, right? Because they didn't return back till days later, which was the 31st, when their original tickets were scheduled to return back, right? Poof. They had no way of a direct line of getting directly to talk to Shanquella. Let's also not forget that they bought back Shanquella's suitcase and whatever. The mom doesn't say whether they bought back Shanquella's phone. So the Mexico authorities, because they couldn't get in touch with any of the Cabo6, had to find out who Shanquella's parents were and actually call and give her the information. That explains the delay. But let's keep going. All right.
Believe me, we just got sick on the stomach.
Now, here's the groundbreaking part. And the part that this is the first time I think she's revealed this. She confronted Khalil without Winter and without Designate. She confronted Khalil. This is the man that's broken bread. This is the man she thought her baby was safe with. Listen to what this piece of crap did.
Salamandra again says she confronted one of the friends who lived nearby.
They say Shanquella didn't die from no alcohol poisoning. They say she had been beating her neck. He broke out in a sweat, and he came out of his shirt. He was sweating so bad, it's like it was eating him up.
Yes, this piece of crap literally thought the gig was up. He thought he'd have to answer for his sins. He thought his day of atonement was among him. And like every coward has ever, he sat there like a little rat, sweating, losing his mind, probably having a psychological break because he thought he was going to be held accountable for his sins. But like every rat, he found a way to weasel out of it. Like every rat, he found a way to weasel out of it. But baby, justice came, the spirit of justice came in Shanquella Robinson's mom, and she had the call, right? She confronted, she knew something was up. She pieced things together, and then she received a copy of the video, and everything came into place. And that's when she went to the government. She went to Black Twitter. She went to the North Carolina beat, which I find it odd. They posted things about TikTok, but they didn't actually feature the North Carolina beat. That was one of the major things that actually got the thing. She went to the North Carolina beat. Black Twitter picked it up. YouTube picked it up. The streets picked it up. The coffee cooler picked it up. Until and actually in the American public, in our communities, the voices came so loud it was impossible to ignore. And now she was on Nancy Grace. She just got on Dateline. You guys, this is just the beginning. Please, let's continue what they have to say, and then I'll go on.
Quilla, can you at least fight back?
Quilla, can you at least fight back? Unfortunately, Quilla could not fight back. But we have the spirit of justice. You guys, don't listen to anybody who tells us we just need to be quiet and let them do their jobs. Let me tell you something. The FBI is the original group chat. There is a hotline where they say if you know anything, whatever it is, calls and let us know. The investigators are skilled in going through things and figuring out what is true, what might be true, and what all is trash. The FBI has a tip line for this. Don't ever let anybody tell you to be quiet. Because of all our voices, the loudest being Shanquella's parents, her legal team, the North Carolina beat, all the people that did what they could to amplify this, to get this in front of everybody, you guys, it's just the beginning. Let's not let up. Tag the FBI. Why aren't the Cabo6 arrested? Honestly, there's enough evidence to get them on conspiracy to commit murder, on covering up a murder, on obstruction of justice. Why has Mexico only issued one warrant? Yeah, we know she had, but the other ones lied and they hid and they cowered. Why? It is not over. Justice is coming. I feel it in my bones. Justice is coming, but we need justice to come for everybody. Everybody needs to be extradited. And if they're not, the FBI, tag the Department of State, tag the president, tag the VP, and then go over to Mexico and tag all their people too. Raise our voices up and let them know there will be no peace, and no sleep until Shanquella's murder people are held accountable. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you later.